This is Water Elemental.
And this is Axis, and we are here today to talk about the League of Legends. This is an ongoing show. We talk about everyone's favorite MOBA-style battle game. We had a lot of cool and interesting stuff to talk about this week. We had a patch that dropped a little bit after we recorded last week. We have some cool news on the PvE, some very interesting stuff regarding the new ARAM matchmaking, and some price changes, as well as some Draven reversions. So, the first thing we kind of want to talk about is the patch, guys. This is 3.50 or 3.05. I forget.
3. I can't find the patch. Give me a second.
You read it. There you go. 3.5. I'm the best. So a lot of cool and interesting stuff. They changed Karma a little bit more. They're tweaking her to make her more effective and competitive. They nerfed Akali some more. They were changing the way some of her damage works, as well as how quickly she gets ult charges. They made Kayle and Lux a little bit less safe, while making other supports like Nami and Morgana a little bit easier to use, as well as Nautilus and Nunu. They're trying to make Quinn and Urgot a little bit easier to use in terms of what they're capable of, as well as nerfing some very strong initiators like Volibear. They're working very, very hard to make Spirit of the Ancient Golem useless, as well as Seraph's Embrace. And Spirit of the Elder Lizard got nerfed. Funny story, again. So, not a huge patch, but a lot of nerfs. A lot of nerfs. So,
I think they're attacking the wrong thing right now. They're attacking the high damage characters and stuff like that. But the problem with high damage characters is that's not what the meta is. The meta right now is very high early game sustain. And characters like Akali and stuff, they don't pick up until level 6 or 7. So right
the thing is, Akali has all that sustained from her passive, especially now that they made it just have it from level 1.
That is true.
So she has all that damage plus just high sustain and easy to get away abilities with her Shadow Shroud.
Yeah, I forgot that they gave her full passive right off the bat.
That was a terrible choice.
That was a dumb choice. At least let her wind up before she gets that craziness.
Indeed. But like we said, not a huge patch. Very interesting. I haven't played with it too much. I've been doing some hardware changes on my machine, so I haven't had...
You broke it.
I did. But we got a solid state on there now. It's really exciting, and I'll get some cool games in very, very soon. Another big thing that's coming out is, of course, on the PvE right now. All the stuff with Howling Abyss, Sejuani, Trundle and Lissandra, it's all out there right now.
They reverted the patch back to them so they could actually roll out them faster.
Indeed. And so some of the cool stuff that's out there right now we've already talked about. But other things, they're making 5 potions be the max amount of potions you can carry in your inventory. They're allowing for you to have reroll points on the ARAM map, which is very interesting. So let's talk about those 2 points before we go any further. 5 pots. You were talking about the sustain meta. This is a huge problem right now.
Because it used to be that when you would go into lane, you'd get boots and
3 pots. Or a Doran's ring. Or
there was variety depending on what you wanted to do in that lane. Now it's you have to buy...
You either get a Fortitude Elixir in some pots, you get some wards in some pots, and you generally don't go for a solo item. You just sustain and you CS and you try to out-farm each other. It's very boring, it's tedious. And
it's not fun.
Yeah, if you have mana, you don't have the mana to really deal enough damage to outdo their potions. So it's a drag. And this is mainly to combat that sort of feel where it's like, okay, well, if I'm aggressive, I'm just going to die because they might not have an item over me, but they have a lot of health over me, which is way more important right now. You know, it was previously where...
It wasn't that bad.
It was kind of passive because people wanted to go for health or for flat damage, so they would take it easy. Now that there's just no reason to even poke at your opponents. You CS from afar.
It's the dance.
If you take any poke, you just take one of your 16 pots. It's absurd. And they're trying to combat this by capping it at 5. Which is, I think it's a decent change. We'll have to play it by ear, really.
Well, people will still probably get... then it's going to go to Flask and X pots.
Well, they already nerfed Flask a lot.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how it goes. Honestly, I don't think it'll be crazy effective. I don't. But I think it will encourage people to be more creative with their early game builds.
It's a step in the right direction, because you and I were talking about this at lunch, where... The metagame right now is so stagnant where the beginning, if you want to be aggressive and the opponent is going pots, you're going to lose. And just the fact that if you even build out of that pot meta, your team's going to rip on you. Because I've seen that so often where I go support, I get my wards, and I get that stuff. My AD carry goes either boots and 3 pots. Or if she goes something else. She gets reamed on. Like, the whole team jumps on her right away. Even if she does well. Like, going against the pot meta is, like, the worst thing you could possibly do right now because people cannot stand it.
People are too close-minded. And so...
They're min-maxing to that point.
Yeah, the game's really popular, so it's really difficult for me to say, you're wrong. It's not my place. But I personally, with the way I play, with the aggressive sort of, let's just go get them kind of thought process I have.
What you have fun doing in this game.
Yeah, it's just, it's not cohesive to the way people as a whole want to play. So usually when I'm playing League, I'm trying to just play with my friends and we're just dicking around, not really trying to win. I mean, we're having fun, but we're not like, all right, so you gotta be support, you gotta be bot lane. I mean, the meta's there for a reason. It's good for helping you with pub games, but when there's not even a good time to have in the first 15 minutes, why am I playing?
Yeah, because as a support, I'm just sitting there and warding. I'm not helping the team with ganks. I'm not helping my guy by healing up because they're not even attacking her. She doesn't need it. She's just like,
yeah, that's the thing. If you're a support, it's
chug.
understandable. I'm not aggressing too much. I mean, I'm hitting them with my poke, but if I'm a top lane and I'm like, all right, I can't aggress too much, that's a bad sign. So I'm not ragging on League. I love League, but I'm glad they're combating this bad meta right now.
It's not the game, it's the players.
It's not the players. It's the way people are playing the game.
Yeah.
People are nice, but if people are playing badly and doing silly stuff like this, it's not a whole lot of fun for us.
But enough about our personal thoughts. The next thing is the randomization system for the new ARAM maps and allowing us to get rerolls, something that a lot of people have been wanting for a while.
Yes, this is something they've talked about actually today, I believe.
Yeah, it just came out today. And how it works is, as you play in the queue system of Howling Abyss, most likely, you gain what is known as reroll points.
Yes, you gain these reroll points based on how many champions you own and how many matches you play. So if, let's say, you have every champion unlocked, you'll earn more reroll points per match.
Than me, who would have probably about the standard 7 champions and then like 2 or 3 I've unlocked.
Plus all the ones from the free week.
Yeah.
And so basically what this means is you can build up reroll points, I believe they said to a cap of
2 rerolls.
2 rerolls.
So if you get bad luck in a game, you can hit the reroll button. Say you get a mage and you're not ready to have a mage.
Or you don't have a rune page for mage, let's say.
Or you're not good with that certain champion. You can hit the reroll button. It won't. I don't know if they confirmed it or not. If you would be able to get that same champion again, I doubt that the odds of that would happen. But I think you could reroll and hit another champion on the list, and then hopefully you'd be able to do it. So you can't just go into a game either and just spam 6 or 7 rerolls until you get the champion you want.
Exactly.
So it's keeping the fun of ARAM intact, but it's preventing people a bit more from Q dodging.
And one thing they were very clear about, if someone dodges after you reroll, you get your reroll points back.
It's only if the game commences.
Indeed. Another thing specifically involving maps that are not Summoner's Rift, they're working towards having balance changes for items and for champions on non-Summoner's Rift maps.
This is a great idea. Because if you nerf a character on Summoner's Rift, it might make him extremely powerful on another map, or make him even worse on another map. We've seen situations where Maokai would be nerfed or something like that on Summoner's Rift, and then he'd be extremely bad in, another map situation.
See, Master Yi is a perfect example. Master Yi, as AP, sucks on Summoner's Rift. I mean, he's okay. He is a really good mid laner, but his teamfight potential... It's not crazy. He's a good cleanup champion. That's about it. And threes, he's even worse. APE. And ARAM, he is the demon sent from hell to kill you and your family forever.
Yeah.
He'll destroy everyone that ever was. And there's no way to fight him. There's no way. But you can't nerf him because he's too strong on ARAM. So this is what they're moving towards. They're saying, okay, we can change the champions for different maps and make them, balanced for that. Because it's a diverse game, and you have to diversify your champions, and you can't have different champions for every map. That's a lot of work. So you can have minor tweaks, make them effective, give them more strength in one area, less strength in the other. I think this is a great way to help encourage champions like, let's say, Susan.
Who's really good at threes.
Who's good on threes. He's okay on threes. He's really good on Summoner's Rift, horrific on Dominion.
Yeah, he can't get anywhere.
He can't get his Q up. So if they made a change from maybe it'd be better on Dominion, but not have it affect his kit on Summoner's Rift, perfect.
Perfect.
There's no reason not to do that, and they're finally going ahead with it. So this is a great thing. It's on the PBE now, and it's going to be pretty far out, guys. It's still in the planning phase, so don't expect it tomorrow, but they have said they're working on it. Other interesting things that we've seen, they reverted the Draven move speed axe change. This is something that's actually on live right now, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But previously they had set it in the patch so that way Draven's move speed was more in effect of where his axes were going to land. And this proved to be too disruptive to people's playstyles. So instead they kept the change where it can't land in, let's say, walls, which, why wouldn't you? And they've made it so that way, it's more cohesive to, let's say, just basic movement. The issue they were worried about was, like I said, disruptive to current playstyles. And if you chucked your axe at somebody and you watched to see where it was going, if you had high move speed, when you saw where it was landing, you wouldn't be able to catch up to it unless you were running the whole time. And a lot of people pause, take a look at the situation, then go with Draven.
And the reaction time, you'd have to have split-second reaction time, too, which is one of those things that is bad. So this reverting thing, it's a good idea in theory, but when it came down to it, I think the system wasn't perfected when it hit live.
And fortunately, they're fixing that for us, and so we'll get that. Another big thing in the pipes, what's going on there?
We have a giant price reduction on a certain amount of skins, as well as some increase on other skins. Very interesting, and we'll kind of go over that, tell you which skins that you should look out for, which ones you should buy now, and some skins that you should buy to wait. But 36 skins are moving from the price range of $975 to $520. Skins like Imamu, Prom Night Annie, Loch Ness Cho'Gath, and just some of the mid-range skins that are not good enough to be $975.
Basically, kind of the theming here is that if it's just sort of some
cosmetic tweaks.
Yeah, cosmetic tweaks, nothing really crazy. They want to make it so that way you can get it for a relatively cheap price. Whereas certain skins that have a little bit more than cosmetic tweaks, maybe they've got a little bit of a model change, they look cooler.
Like Acolyte Lee Sin, Spell Thief Lux, Cowgirl Misfortune, Coral Reef Malphite, kind of a little bit different to their actual model, not just like a color difference or like a hat difference. Those ones are going from $975 to $750. And that one's a very interesting move because, you got a lot of skins that look better than a $975 skin or a $520 skin but aren't $975 worthy, so you kind of wait for those ones when they go on sale.
Yeah, so it's going down to $720, which is a new tier. And there's also another new tier, $1350. Some of our legendary skins are moving down to that one, ones that aren't too crazy.
Astronaut Teemo, Lion Dance Kog'Maw, and Piltover Customs Blitzcrank. These are really great skins, but compared to some of the other legendary skins, they're not quite there.
Yeah, I have Piltover Custom Blitzcrank, but when I compare him to like Demon Blade Tryndamere, I'm left like,
Why isn't Gentleman Cho'Gath going to a $1350?
Because he's got a special voice.
Yeah, but so does Blitzcrank has the sound effects. And
he has one sound effect.
He just has the charge. That's true. I thought he would have more.
That's really about it.
So
a lot of thought went into Gentleman Cho'Gath.
That is true.
Some 975 skins are actually also moving up to this 1350 tier.
Now these skins, we're going to let you know which ones are moving up in price so you can get them while they're cheaper, if you've been thinking about getting them. We have Sad Robot Amumu, Blitzcrank, Soul Reaver Draven, Surprise Party Fiddlesticks, Steel Legion Garen, Frostblade Irelia, Warring Kingdoms Jarvan, and Warring Kingdoms Xinyao. You also have Full Metal Jace, Glacial Malphite, Blackthorn Morgana, Astronaut Nautilus, Arcade Sona, Tyrant Swain, Battlecast Urgot, Scorched Earth Zareth, Pool Party Ziggs, and Warfire Zyra.
So there's a full list of this guy, of these skins rather, on the forums, on the general discussion. Just look for it, and you can take a look, buy the ones you want, skip the ones you don't. These are interesting changes. I can't say I'm 100% pleased with paying $15 for
a skin that should have been $975.
Yeah, for something like Tyrant Swain. I mean, Tyrant Swain's a beautiful skin.
It is a great skin. So is like Scorched Earth Zareth, but it's not worth the mid-tier legendary. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes over. They'll probably get a lot of backlash for it. I have no doubt. But it'll be interesting to see if they stand their ground. Again, take a look at the full list, guys. Buy them now while they're cheap, and we'll see what happens as we go forward.
They also were talking about the ultimate legendary skins.
Yes, the Pulsefire Ezreal tier.
And what they said was there's going to be more skins like this coming out in 2013.
2 to 4% of their total skins will be ultimates in the coming year.
So, and what classifies these skins are skins that generally are phenomenal. Think about Pulsefire Ezreal. The characters' voices are different. The animations are different. Over time, the character actually upgrades himself, and he's different as the game progresses.
New outside of the game content with him.
Yeah, which was the banner and the
icon.
The icon, yeah. So, yeah, those are going to be a lot heavier than a normal legendary skin. So keep an eye out for those, and make sure you pick them up while they come out, because I think they're going to be relatively cheap for the first week.
Like they did with Pulsefire Ezreal. And that's really it. I mean, there's some cool stuff on the PB, like we talked about. Some interesting balance changes. Sejuani, Lissandra, and
Porosax,
whatever the hell that is.
It's like a little derpy goat thing. I did as much research as I couldn't find out what this thing is. They say it's going to be consumable, but it's not in the game.
And bite his head off.
Just like Ozzy Osbourne, just
exactly.
They're also talking about Champion League banners. This is something that was found in the files. Thank you to surrender@20.net for that information. You can check them out there. But there is a background for each champion in the game. So we don't know if these are going to be unlocked for playing a certain amount of characters over time, or if you're just going to get one chosen to you depending on the champion you've played the most.
I think it might have something to do with your ranked tier. Because, you have Blitzcranks, Knights, Vi's, Puncher, Facers. So, who knows? This might have something to do with that, and it might be something you unlock as you play the champions as well. But we shall see in time. It's on the PB right now, guys. And we'll have to wait and see. But that's really it for official news this week, guys. Kind of a mixed bag for us this week. A lot of cool stuff for us to discuss. Not a lot of solid news, but look forward to it. I can't wait for that big Freylord patch to drop. I know you guys can't either.
Gives us room for other stuff.
Indeed. But let's move on to our own section here. We got a question this week from Master 12. He says, who do you guys think needs a lore update? Not counting the ones that you have a rant about. Alright. I know I get animated, I'm sorry, but
we have to have something we stand our ground for.
Indeed. But a champion I say that could use better lore, Rengar and Kha'Zix.
Theirs is just so... They could have done so much more with it, built it up. Like, tell us what happened. Because I think they're just like, Kha'Zix stabbed him in the eye.
Now, Rengar wants to fight him and they went to the league for some reason. Another big one, Syndra. Syndra has no reason to join the league.
No.
I have a tower that I'm the greatest in. I'm having a great time.
But I'm bored.
I'm in the league now.
Well,
they need to have champions with more clear motivation. They need to have champions that have some sort of conflict or dilemma. And they need to have them have more interplay. I know I said, Trundle, why are you doing this to me? I love Trundle's old lore, and I was complaining that he has new lore. But in his new lore, at least he interacts with some people. There's some chance for continued storyline and mention, and even some champion interaction.
Midgijot brought up a great point a couple weeks ago. We weren't able to discuss it. But he mentioned something. What about the Institute of War? We haven't heard about the Institute of War in months. Riot almost just dropped it off the face of the earth. It's like, there's no interaction between champions in the Institute of War, other champions in the Institute of War. What happened to it? And that was one thing I was going to bring up. It's like, did they just forget why people would sign up to the Institute of War? Like, the League itself, it's like, okay, the League's here, but are they involved in anything anymore? Is the League, like, kind of changing its own rules depending on people they let in? It's like, it's not just a faction versus faction kind of kept from destroying the whole planet anymore. It's just kind of there.
It's silly. There's a lot of lore gaps right now, and I'm just hoping that's something they fix. But champions I think that could use the most polish would be Syndra, followed by Rengar and Kha'Zix. Because there's so little there to it. I mean,
and just give us some updates on champions we like. Like, what's going on with Garen and Lux? What's going on with Amamu? What's going on with
Garen and Katarina? I mean, what?
Huh?
Well, yeah, guys, that's really it for questions this week. We didn't get a whole lot, unfortunately. So we love questions every week, guys, and we need them. We need them so we can talk about something. So if you have a question about us, about the show, about anything in particular, really,
what's that rash on my butt?
League of Legends, what water element sounds like when he's laughing, we're happy to answer it for you. Just send us the comment, post in the comment section below. Send it to our email. It's BazDaGaming@gmail.com. Post it on our Facebook or on our forums.
Do not post on our forums. That will be going down here soon. It's getting to the point where it's unusable.
Never mind, don't do that. But yeah, that's all it. And contest is over. We'll be announcing winners probably
Later this week.
And it'll be up for you guys. You can take a look at our cool stuff. And bask in the glory of the winner. Otherwise, this has been Axis.
And Water Elemental.